with Ramadan. And tonight's session basically is more designed for the young people, how you can grab the most of the barakah and how you're able to upkeep. So tonight, inshallah, we want to have a discussion with our Hafiz Qasim. Qasim, can you come up here, please? And Hafiz Omer. These are two youngsters in our community, and so, and both of them actually are in college. And thank you, Qasim. And as you know that hifzing the Quran, it's not something very easy. And I always feel a sense of gratitude and give respect to those who recite the Quran and who memorize the Quran. It's a great job. Both of these guys are in college, right? Qasim, can you tell us what you're doing in college and what year you are in?
I'm a freshman and I'm majoring in pharmacy.
MashaAllah. Majoring in pharmacy is very, very difficult, right? It's not an easy selection. May Allah give you goodness. Brother Omar, what year are you in college and what are you doing?
I'm studying computer science and I'm in my last year.
So computer science, pharmacy, both of them very difficult. We want to let them tell us. First, Qasim, how is it that you are able to juggle between your Ramadan? And I want the youngsters to follow this, all right? How you're able to juggle between your studies and rehearsing your Quran, fasting, and coming here and to recite for us in Taraweeh. What it takes and what do you do?
So I'm a freshman, so this is like my first year in college, so it's a little bit difficult. But the way I do it is you always have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help in whatever you do. So what I do is in between my classes, that's when I like study Quran, or if I have time, I watch a lecture. And I usually review my hifz after Taraweeh because my teacher, he's from Bangladesh, so the time difference is it's his morning and my night. So that's what I usually review, and I usually just try to do my studies like in the daytime because I want to review at night.
Same question to Brother Omar. What it takes from you to maintain your hifz and your studies and juggle between fasting and all other activities?
So for me, it's always very important to come into Ramadan prepared. And so my revision begins way before even Ramadan begins. So I get into the habit of reading the Quran like almost every day whenever I have time. And, actually preparing for Ramadan itself. Because, getting Tarawih is a big deal and it's no easy task. Not everyone can do it. And, it takes a great amount of preparation to actually lead. So even during Ramadan, I usually try to take lighter classes during the time Ramadan is in, so I'm able to balance out, my revision and school, so it's not that hard on me. But circumstances do happen, classes, exams, they all come in between sometimes. But it's very important to, keep that balance, so don't neglect school completely, and do not neglect Ramadan completely either. You need to have that kind of fine balance there, and just work.
Very good, thanks. For parents, sometimes we think that we want our kids to be good Muslims, right? And we want them to do whatever it takes to gain the blessings and the barakah of Allah. It's a big blessing, really, when your kids also memorize the Quran. There is a special barakah that goes with that for parents who spend their time ensuring your kids really memorizing the Quran. And a lot of parents sometimes feel that, okay, I'm going to give my kid a later chance, but I want them to concentrate on academics, and then when their academics is over, then I will teach them Islam. Truthfully, you are not getting the best out of it. You always find, and this is my personal experience with people who I do memorize the Quran. Whenever they memorize the Quran, they do great in academics. Great in academics. And so the younger you're able to do that, it is much better. But Qasim, can you tell us what a typical day, what a typical Ramadan day is like for you?
So every day for me kind of differs, but the average day is I usually go to school around like 10 o'clock, and I usually have in the morning back-to-back classes. So I finish around 1:30, and then I go to the library and pray Gohar. And if I have like usually like a 2 or 3 hour gap, usually in that gap I try to do maybe an hour of studying, and then if I have time, review what I'm supposed to do for Tarawih that night. And I usually, if I have more time, I try to watch like an Islamic lecture or read the translation of what I'm going to do for Tarawih tonight, so I have an understanding. And then usually I have a third class around like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and it ends like around 5:30. And then I get home around 6:30, and then I usually just help around the house and I review my hifz for what I'm going to do for Tarawih. After Iftar and Maghrib, I usually review again, and if I have any work that I'm supposed to be doing that's like due 11:59 or at night, I usually try to get it done with. And then I come to Tarawih. After Tarawih, if I have any homework, I'll finish it up and I'll go to sleep.
MashaAllah, you can see that's very rigorous, right? It's very rigorous. And for all of our young brothers, you have that ability to do the same thing as these brothers. So I would like to listen to Brother Omer, what his typical day like on Ramadan day.
This semester is extremely light for me, so since I already finished majority of the coursework required for my major, I'm only taking around 6 credits this semester, just keeping it light semester. But even with that, there's a lot of work that comes with these classes since they try to keep me busy. But a typical day in my Ramadan looks like I sleep pretty late, so I sleep around like 12, wake up for schoolwork, and I usually take like a 2-hour nap, and then I have classes, and I have class in the morning. So around 10 o'clock, I go to class for around 2 hours to classes, and then after I get out of class, I usually wait for Gohar. So during that time, I would probably like listen to an Islamic lecture or something, or read the translation that, for the ayahs that are being recited. For example, for tonight, I would read the translation of those ayahs and try to understand those ayahs. And what I usually do between Gohar to Asr, I take a short nap. It's called Qailullah. We take a short nap during that time. And that kind of like gives me a fresh mind, so when I wake up, I'm usually able to revise Quran and give full attention to fresh mind. And yeah, that's basically.
So for all the youngsters, you guys here, right, that what it takes really, and I would like to encourage all of you, all our young brothers and young sisters and parents really to put in a lot of effort with your kids, and don't feel that you need to take one side before you get to the other side. You can do both simultaneously. And as we have seen that a lot of the young kids who memorize the Quran, they ace academics. I mean, it's always happened like that because memorizing the Quran, to hifz the Quran it's a barakah from Allah, and it's not easy. And that is the reason why when any of the Hafiz reciting and you get to a portion that someone of us know all the way to the back, you don't shout and correct the Hafiz all the way to the back, because a lot of us, especially like some of the surah that we memorize, know that mistakes, and that's the nature of the Quran. The nature of the Quran is very tough. Even a seasoned Hafiz do make mishaps and things go blank, and it happens all the time. So people at the back should not be shouting, correcting in the front. let it be for the people in front to do that, inshallah. And at the same time, to give respect, due respect to all of our brothers who memorize the Quran. So youngsters, please know that it takes a lot, inshallah. I wish you all the best. We pray that Allah bless both of these young kids really in college and give them success in the dunya wal akhirah.